Ladies and gentlemen, I have just seen the 2018 release of Archons. I hadn't heard of it either. Before I get into that, let me remind you all that for every 1,000 subscribers, I buy one of these bracelets from the company 4Ocean. And 4Ocean, of course, pulls a pound of trash out of Big Blue for me. So you want me buying bracelets. Every bracelet is £1. They've got all kinds of interesting things that I can, buy for that. And yeah, come on, guys. We need to make the world better. It's divided, it's burning. I beg of you, watch more of my videos. Comment, like, tell your friends to subscribe. I want to clean the ocean. And honestly do other stuff. Anyway, so what we have here is a washed up kind of a band. They're not so washed up, actually. The thing says they're washed up, but they just finished a tour. There's 3 of them. And they go, all right, let's go on a psychedelic spiritual canoe trip in order to write some better songs, because we don't have a big inventory. Yeah. Okay, I have to admit, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. But and here's why, is because you can even see on the poster here, I don't know if you can see it where you are, she's got an acid tab in her mouth. Now, I've never taken acid. I've never taken any hallucinogen. Believe me, my dreams are weird enough without them being in reality. But my understanding of hallucinogens is you don't go places while you're on them. I mean, you're staying there. But no, this says that you're going to go on a canoe trip and canoe down a river while tripping balls. So of course, they get out there and they start tripping balls, and then stuff that seems unrelated to each other happens. I mean, the first half of the movie, there's a lot of exposition and canoeing. And if you're not into exposition and canoeing, you're going to be tempted to turn it off. And the second half of this movie, there's creepy horror movie stuff happening, which is the point. It's a horror movie. And the special effects are pretty solid. And, there's plenty of weird going on. But it never adds up. You never get good explanations for what's happening. I mean, there's explanations there, and I'm sure the author / director, Mr. Nick, I'm going to butcher this, Skostakowski? Well, Skostakowski, you didn't finish writing this. And whereas it cries, I need a sequel to explain all this stuff, there are a couple of points here where the movie just goes to black. And I don't know if that was the most effective use, but it was effective. The use of darkness in particular is very, very good in this film. In fact, the cinematography, the biggest complaint I have about the cinematography is in the early half of the movie, there aren't enough close shots, so some of the characters kind of get lost. And I would have liked to have spent a little more time with them, so we care about them more. But, it's one of those things, is that the movie does not have a concrete ending. And, a lot of movies kind of end where you can interpret what's happening to come to a concrete ending. Like, for example, the original Nightmare on Elm Street. You do not get a concrete ending. You get an ending that can be interpreted a number of ways. You know, mostly that she's still in the dream and that the monster wins. Spoiler for that movie. But with this movie, I mean, I could interpret it that the entire movie is a hallucinogenic episode, and that what really happened is they were at the ending location for the entire time, just tripping balls. Okay, and then that's the aftermath of them tripping balls. Okay, I could interpret it that way. I could also interpret it that the monsters have some kind of clairvoyance and set everything up. But there's no conclusion and there's no explanation. There's just things added together that don't make a cohesive plot. I mean, again, this particular film goes under the same vein as the film High Tension, which is a French film. And, you know, the thing about High Tension is like, well, I believe it was Roger Ebert that said that there's a hole in the plot so big that somebody literally drove a truck through it. So here we have a plot that's kind of full of holes. And if that's something that bothers you, this is not going to satisfy you as a movie. Okay? If you just want to see a horror movie for the special effects and gore and the people getting wasted, then this is the movie for you. Okay? Again, this is 1,000 times better than many of the horror movies I've seen. But again, you know, it's also $4. So, it's hard to say. If you're going to put this on your watch list, put it way down on your watch list, and only watch it if you are going to watch it with friends. Otherwise, watch only if you're bored. I mean, if you're a horror movie geek, this movie is very satisfying. It's well made. It's well crafted. But it's just, the ending leaves you wanting, and the plot, it's just not fun to dissect. It's one of those things where like, okay, horror movie. Movie's got a movie. Move on. You know, so yeah, watch if you're bored. Not a bad movie, but that's just my opinion, though. Love to hear yours. Comments below. I'm Richard.
Greetings, capitalist pigs! Cannot see the blood of my enemies Borgoth, reminding you to like and comment on this video. And you can find more of me on the Power Sister Horsies exclusively on Absurd TV. Directed by Mark Schaefert.